Okay, here we go with our second video, and this is where things are going to get a little trickier the next couple days because depending on the situation and what you have, you're going to be doing three different things. So having this graphic organizer, which is on the first page of your packet, if you printed it out yesterday. So now we have, if we have x raised to the a power and you multiply it by x raised to the b power, so your bases match. If your bases match, then you can add the exponents, which seems a little odd because it's called the product rule, but what we're happening is we're multiplying. Okay, and one of the things I think about, like in our simplest things, is that if we have x and we multiply it by x, we don't have 2x, we have x squared. Okay, and you can think about any of our other rules. If we have 7 to the first times 7 to the first, that's also 7 squared, because that's another way we write 49. Okay, we just don't normally put the first there. But how do you get to 2? Really, it's 1 plus 1. So over here, expanding on this, h squared times h to the 6. So that's h to the 2 plus 6, which is h to the 8th. But then if we have numbers, or coefficients, negative 2 times 7, that we multiply, just like normal. But then here, when we're multiplying, they don't have to match like up here. When we're combining like terms and adding and subtracting, like we did yesterday, that's a different ball game. Here, we now have a to the 2 plus 3, that's a 2 there. And then b, this is where people, again, will mess up. They'll forget that that's a 1, and really it's 1 plus 1. So then you get negative 14 a to the 5th b squared. So let's go down here, and this will be your first page from today. So again, x to the a, so it's going to be written right at the top of your page. So that's just x to the a plus b. So I'll start a couple of these slowly and show you that intermediate step. This one is really the first power, so it's a to the 9th plus a to the 1, which is a to the 10th. And 7 plus 4, eventually you can just, when they're basic like that, go right to here. Now down here, again, it tells you multiply the coefficients, and then it says simplify using the product rule. Some more examples. 4 times 3 is 12. And then the 2 plus 7, whether you want to do this, or I'm sorry, 2 plus 5, which is going to equal 7. We start to fly through these pretty quick. 5 times 3 is 15. 6 plus 2 is 8. 5 times 6 is 30. And 2 plus 4 is 6. But now they get a little trickier here. I'll do one more here. Negative 4 times 3 is negative 12. And then 3 plus 2 is a to the 5th. And then 1 plus 5 is b to the 6th. But here, now we're starting to get to 3 different variables. And you'll notice if you compare 24 and 5, really it doesn't matter if there's a parenthesis or not. I could put a parenthesis there, and now it's set up just like 25. So there's more than one way to write these. So here we have 2 negatives equal a positive. So negative 7 times negative 4 is 28. P to the 9th and p to the 2nd is p to the 11th. And then Q3 and 6 is Q9. And then my r's become r to the 5th because I have 1 plus 4. You'll notice that these typically we want to try to stay in alphabetical order whenever possible. You'll see that it was a consistent pattern throughout this chapter. So I'm going to jump down here to 27, because here, now you have 3 of them, but the only thing you got to be careful of is this negative. So really another way to write that would be negative 1ab. So that's a coefficient that goes with a 6. So I have negative 6. Now how many a's do I have? I have a to the first here, a to the first there, and a to the fifth. So that becomes a to the 7th. And then I have b1, b1, b1. That becomes b cubed when we add them together. Same thing on 28. I'm going to take my coefficients. Negative 2 times 3 is negative 6. All my x's come together. Because again, when we are multiplying exponents, it doesn't matter if they're not like terms. But as you're going to see when we get to 36 and 35, a little further down, it would. So we got x, that becomes x squared. And then we end up having 4 of them, x to the first, x to the first, x squared, x to the fourth, y cubed becomes y to the fifth. So we went down a little further. 12 times 2/3 is 8, because you just have 12 over 1 times 2 over 3, which is 24 divided by 3, which is 8. Nothing to match the x with. My y's become y to the fifth. Mixed practice, so this is a little trickier. So what we're going to do is we're going to do these, and this is where you're going to have to show some steps, guys. You cannot do this in one step, and this is one of these problems here. This is why I want you to be able to print this packet, or if not, you need to be copying them down. But as you can see, we started at number 17. You got 21 problems on this page alone, and it's a lot easier if you have it printed than if you have to copy it down. So I'm going to do these ones first over here. All right, so I do 4 times 2 is 8. And then the fifth and the first become x to the 6th. Y squared and y cubed is y to the 5th. Okay, and then over here we're going to add that to, I have a 3. And then my 4 and 2 becomes x to the 6th. And my 4 and 1 become y to the 5th. So now, because these match, now I can add them together, which goes back to yesterday's rules. As long as my exponents and variables match identically, then I can add them together. And now I can have 11 x to the 6th, y to the 5th. If this was like an 8, now they don't match, and I would not be able to add them together. So another one of these. We'll go down and finish up here. So 4 times 3, so now we have a negative 12. Because that negative just kind of drops down, or you could treat that like negative 4 if you wanted. M to the 5th, m to the cubed is m to the 8th. And n to the 1st and n to the 7th is n to the 8th, which matches here. Not always going to match, but so far it has. 19 minus 12 is 7, m to the 8th, n to the 8th. So while there's a lot of these problems, you can fly right through them. So you're doing all of this, and you are finishing this page as well. So there's 2 pages that you're doing today. Make sure you're doing the right ones, but the one page is labeled 17 to 38. And then the other page is labeled 1 to 25 on Unit 6, Homework 1. And all of these we've done. And you can see as we were going through them, I mean, this video is only going to be 10 minutes long, and I did 3, 6, 9, 12. I did 13 problems, and probably way too much talking for you guys to like, but you can fly through them. A lot of problems, but get it done. Have a good day.